Yo, what's up, guys? Late night live stream. Let's go through some bets. So we got a lot of plays open. I'm sure there will be some more value. So we're gonna look at PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy. You know, kind of all the main sports books. The more books you got access to, the better. But you know, PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy are pretty popular. Also on Underdog Fantasy, you'll see, where did it go? I thought they released this new feature. We'll have to take a look. So if we look at player TDs, man, I feel like they released a feature. Maybe I'm crazy. I thought there was this new thing on Underdog where, you know, you can get kind of like boosted payouts, 2x or something like that. But anyways, we'll have to we'll keep that for later. But it looks like Underdog Fantasy has dropped more TD lines. So we can take a look at some of these. So again, the way that Underdog Fantasy works, right, is any 3 picks you select, right? Like, you're always going to be getting the same payout, a 6x payout, right? So essentially, the strategy for beating them, they don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under, is you want to look for like spots where the sports books, you know, have, like, you want to compare their lines to the sports books. The sports books have variable payouts. And you want to look for spots where books have one side of the line heavily favored. So if you take a look here, you know, player touchdowns, for example. Again, like Underdog Fantasy PrizePicks, they're different from traditional sports books. So we're looking at, you know, Raheem. So we can take a look here. You can see here, like, you know, not a ton of lines available, but must, right? Like, he's kind of like, you know, there's not really value on either side. He's very slightly favored to go under on Fliff and Hard Rock. So you'd probably prefer to take the under if you wanted to take, you know, a play here, right? Like if PrizePicks is going to give you the same payout based on you selecting his over versus under, you know, you just want to see like, okay, which side is favored. So you look at the sports books and you see in general, they have the under favored. Granted, not a bunch of books have, you know, TD lines posted, but if you look at Bijan Robinson on the other hand, right, you can see all books have him heavily favored to go under. So we had him last week. We had Bijan's under in a bunch of different slips. Again, the value is on the under. The sports books are keeping this lineup because they know most recreational bettors take the over. But you can see last weekend, oh, we didn't even have him in our big payout slip. But I had him a ton of times. So you can see here I had him with the Travis Hunter promo, which ended up winning. Unfortunately, you know, hoping for a speedy recovery. But because Travis Hunter got injured, you know, they rebooted it. This ended up cashing. But we had Bijan's under on a bunch of different sports books. Fucking Keon Hatcher would have had a $5,000 win here if this little CFL guy didn't, you know, shit the bag. But anyways, so you can see here, right? Like, why is this a sharp bet? Why is it a profitable bet to go with on Underdog? All the books have him heavily favored to not score a touchdown. And it's like, okay, great. But now we need to find some more picks on Underdog that we can go with. And again, they just released a lot of TD lines. I swear they had this new feature where some players, they had boosted payouts to score a TD. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't think I'm crazy, but let's check out Diggs. What's the deal with Diggs? Oh my God, I love this play. Holy moly. So this play is fucking incredible. So take a look at Diggs. Oh my God. Yay. So we can go here, and I got to charge my computer. This play on Diggs is wild. So we had Diggs last weekend, and that paid off for us. In week 1, it didn't pay off for us. Last week, it paid off. We obviously had him in this big slip. But again, you can see here, right, like the way that Underdog Fantasy works, if you, like, I've literally broken down the math behind Underdog Fantasy's payouts for their 3-pick entries is if you win, what the fuck? Okay, now it loaded. Is if you win above 55% of your prop bets, you'll make money. So you can kind of play around with this. I know I've shared it before. But like on Underdog, if you can win 60%, what's up, guys? You might have to update the app. Chili players are only available on iOS. That's so stupid because I'm not able to live stream it. But anyways, we'll have to take a look at it. I swear to God, I saw it on the website, but maybe it was the app, right? But anyways, like you can see here, Diggs is super heavily favored to go under. Fliff has him minus 230 to go under, right? So he's a massive favorite to go under just looking at this sportsbook screen. So that's the side we want to go with. This is probably the best bet available on Underdog Fantasy if I had to guess, but I could be wrong. So we can keep looking. Derrick Henry is a play too. So a little surprising, but Derrick Henry, usually he's not. I'm not sure what's different this weekend, but you can see he's a big favorite to not score a touchdown. So, we're about to have another crazy unders TD. Under TD party. We hit this one last week. The one we built last week with Bijan and Diggs ended up winning. So hopefully we get the same luck this week. And you can see all the books have him heavily favored to not score a touchdown, right? Barstool, minus 145. Fliff, minus 160. On Underdog, we'd get the same payout if we took him to score or to not score. So you could play this as a 3-pick entry, or we could kind of look at, we can look at the rest of these if we want to. So you can kind of go through each player, just compare the lines to those on the sports books if you wanted to. But I think what we'll do is what we can do next is we can go to the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer and we can just kind of take a look, at some Underdog Fantasy plays. And again, a lot of these soccer plays, you only really have 2 data points. It's only PrizePicks and Underdog posting odds. So I kind of skipped those over, but shit, man. We got a lot of player props. We got a lot more player props to look through, though. I can tell you that. So what we can do is let's go here. I want to get rid of some of these combo props, which are new. Some states I know only allow you to bet on combo props. And then we can get rid of soccer. We can keep soccer. I just need to kind of take a closer look at some of these soccer plays. Soccer, there's a lot of good bets. But anyways, take a look at Caleb Williams. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? So if we go to player passing yards, it's like PrizePicks has his line at 301.5. So do some other sports books. FanDuel has his line all the way down at 287.5. Same with BetMGM. Right? That's crazy, right? So what you could do if you wanted to is if you have access to FanDuel, right, you can just head over to the USC game. You can go to Caleb Williams. You could take him over 287.5 here. And then, you could take him, who's USC playing? Where's Caleb Williams? And again, you may not have, I think most states have college football. So we have rush plus receiving TDs. Caleb Williams, his line is at half. So that seems good. Taking his under and passing yard seems decent. Again, there's just it's weird, right? Half the books have his line at 287.5. Underdog Fantasy at 301.5. So this is a great play to middle bet, right? Buy low, sell high. Hit him at 287.5, hit him at 301.5. But we can also check out his TD line. So if we go to player touchdowns, we can check out Caleb Williams. It looks like Underdog Fantasy is getting a little Caleb Williams. You can see here he's a big underdog to score a touchdown, right? Bet365 has him plus 125. BetMGM has him plus 140. This is rushing plus receiving TDs, to be clear. Right? So you can see we got some college football going on. So they're dropping a lot of lines. You have 65 touchdown lines you could look at. That's crazy. Donovan Edwards. So who the fuck is this guy, right? If we look here, Roman Wilson. Oh, I think we looked at him previously. But you could kind of look through all these players. Dylan Edwards, it's we can take a look at him. Colorado's playing Oregon, You can see he's roughly split, but anyways, let's continue looking through. So Caleb Williams, you could take him under in passing yards. You could take him to not score a touchdown. Kind of whatever. Seems like there's value on both unders. Where else shall we look? So this play I thought was good. I already placed a bet with it, but unfortunately we ended up losing. So if we go here to receiving or player receptions, you know, you can see here, right, we're just using data. On Underdog, all you got to do to make money long term is win 55% of your bets. So you look here at Bo Collins. Underdog has his line at 4.5. Jock Market's higher at 5. And then the sports books have him at 4.5 with the over very heavily favored, right? So Fliff has him minus 165. So again, like you got to remember, like every odd has an associated probability. And I don't mean for that to be confusing, but like, you know, damn, we got some close games. We got some close college football games. So like tomorrow, Clemson, Florida, right? Like Florida State is a very small favorite. They're only minus 130 favorites. So what does a minus 130 favorite mean? That means 56.5% to win, right? So Bo Collins is a bigger favorite. He's minus 165. But anyways, like, you know, you kind of get the point. Like, obviously, Oklahoma is more likely to beat Cincinnati than Florida State and Clemson. Oklahoma is a minus 535 favorite. That's 84.2% to win the game. So this is just called an odds converter calculator, and you can kind of take a look at it. You can play around with it. So it just shows you, right, minus 200 means a 2-to-1 betting favorite, 2/3 to win, 66.67% to win the game. So anyways, Bo Collins, it's like Jock Market's like, yo, Underdog has the line too low, and then all the sports books are like, yo, his over should be heavily favored. So that seems like a pretty good play that we can go with on Underdog. And I wish they had better betting limits than $100, but fuck it. We'll hit it for $100. So I've already hit my limit. How have I hit my limit on Bijan? So the Bijan play is really good, so that's frustrating. It says I've already hit my limit. So I got to find one more pick to go with. Oy, oy, oy. Damn, we got some kicking point line discrepancies. Reggie Love. Ooh, I like this. I actually like this a lot. Reggie Love over in rushing yards. That play seems decent. We got some eSports value popping up. Nothing to complain about. We'll go to PrizePicks here in a second. Oh, baby. We got Josh Allen passing attempts lines. We got some Dota lines. So we got some headshot lines. So if we go here, we can take a look here. Like, let's take a look at this player, Heap. And we can go back here, right? The Fantasy Optimizer doesn't do anything complicated. All it's going to do is point out line discrepancies, you know, between the sports books. So it looks like there's actually some good bets on PrizePicks for that. Oh, my God. So, like, this play is beautiful, right? Jordan Whittington, under 46.5 receiving yards. There's a lot of bets available right now, guys. A lot of bets. So let's take Jordan Whittington, under 46.5. You can see FanDuel. I mean, this is a huge difference, right? Like, FanDuel has his line at 38.5. So what we can do is we can hit this shit. And you guys can let me know your thoughts. I'm going to lock this in. I know they can move lines quickly, but hopefully, you know, you guys are able to tail this. First play, banger. What's up, guys? Every prize pick slip you have made this week has chalked. Let's see if that's true. Let's just take a look, you fucking idiot. Let's take a look at this. Let's go to prize picks. Let's go to my entries. Okay, this one went 4 for 6 on my $10 limits. This one I refunded because I ended up switching it. I honestly should have kept it. It would have went 4 for 5. This one I refunded. This one I refunded. As you can see here, I ended up finding a better player. Whoa, 4 for 4. Dude, you're a fucking idiot. This one was refunded, and then that's literally 2 cashes. Give me a break, bro. Anyways, if you want to tail the slip, here's the play. Stephon Diggs is the best play on the board. You want to be on the under. So what we can do next is we can continue to look for some picks. We can also see if ParlayPlay has any of these lines available. Sometimes they do. So if we look up like Diggs, I mean, again, Underdog Fantasy, I only get $100 max bet sizes. But we can see here, like, okay, does ParlayPlay have any good bets? So they don't have a lineup on Diggs to score a TD. We can check PrizePicks too. Sometimes you'll get the same line on numerous sports books. So you can see PrizePicks, they have Bijan, they have Derrick Henry. So both of these unders look good. You know, we've hit them in other slips. I'm already on them. You know, so if you look kind of at the slips we have open, it's like, here were some of them from yesterday. I'm not sure what's still available. Bijan, no touchdown. You can see we're already on that. Damn, push central. So this pushed, you know, we already pushed 2, which is fine. We have a good start to some of these other ones. Brock Purdy, under 8.5 rushing yards. But anyways, we can start to look for some PrizePick slips. Or we can stick with Underdog Fantasy, or we can go to ParlayPlay. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of good plays on all these sports books. So like Alex Pierce, right? It's like, what are they doing? If you take a look here and we go to NFL receiving yards, we can take a look at Alex Pierce, right? It's like, okay, ParlayPlay, this plays also on PrizePicks. It's like ParlayPlay, PrizePicks have his line at 36.5, right? All these other books have his line lower at 32.5, with the under as the juiced or the favored outcome, right? So if you go to like Caesar Sportsbook, you know, again, like so many people want to create their own model to beat the sports books and stuff like that. It's like not going to happen, right? Like Caesar Sportsbook is a $10 billion company. You're not going to create better lines than them and have a better analysis and projections for what the probability is of a player going over or under. Because you also have to remember they're taking bets from around the market and moving around lines due to where action's coming in. So ParlayPlay and PrizePicks have Alex Pierce's line at 36.5, right? They have his line 4 yards lower, and they have the under as the favored outcome, minus 133, right? So that seems like a pretty good play that you can go with on ParlayPlay. Tyreek Hill on Underdog. Yeah, Tyreek Hill looks decent too, but again, the Diggs play is best. Like, this is the best play on the board. I mean, I never want to call something, you know, a lock, but the best play on the board, you know, probably Diggs no TD. So if you're looking for a play to go with, Diggs no TD is, I mean, I'm surprised they have the line up. It'll be interesting to see how long it lasts. And I'm sure there's some good TD lines as well. I'll probably end up taking a look. We can keep this live stream long. We can keep it short. We'll see. But anyways, we can go back here. We can go to ParlayPlay. And we can go to PrizePicks too. We can start building a PrizePick slip. We can start building a bunch of slips. So like this is kind of interesting, right? Again, like soccer betting can be a little weird because a lot of it depends on if the player starts or not. So if the player doesn't start, PrizePicks will end up voiding your bet. But if you take a look at this guy, right, like Underdog has his line at, wait, weird. So let's go back here. Shots attempted. So what's going on here? Let's take a look here. So why don't we just filter out soccer for now? I don't bet on soccer much. I don't really understand it. But anyways, we can go here. So Caleb Williams, again, it's a big discrepancy. It's a big middling opportunity. Middle betting is a great strategy. A lot of people don't do it, but like it's like buying a stock at 287.50 and then you sell it for 300.5. Seems like a pretty good deal, right? Buy a stock for 287.50, flip it for 300.5. You know, 13-yard, you know, get $13 of profit. And that's a big deal, right? These yards really matter. Like I've explained this before, and I mean, we saw that with this McCaffrey pick. I mean, granted, it was 20 to win 500, and our fifth leg, Moody, ended up not winning. We would have had 20, so we turned this into $50, but we would have just lost, right? McCaffrey, most books ended up having him at like 78 yards. We got him under 87.5, which won. So like those extra yards of value really matter. Like beating the market, beating the closing line, that's how you win long term. So anyways, let's go back here. Let's go to PrizePicks. And let's just take a look at some of the lines. So the line for Caleb Williams, it's better on Underdog if you want to fade him, but I decided to take his TD line. But what we can do is we can head over to CSGO and we can take a look at, this guy. So like here, it's like, okay, I mean, again, what sucks about CSGO is when you compare that to like, NFL player touchdowns, Diggs, it's like for Diggs, for NFL lines, it's like we have so many sports books. I mean, literally like dozens of sports books, and they're all telling us the same thing. Yo, Diggs is a huge favorite to go under. Right? Like Caesars has him plus 150 to score a TD. Right? We're getting him minus 122 on Underdog. That's the odds for an Underdog 3-pick entry. So if that's like confusing, I mean, because it is a little confusing, is on Underdog Fantasy, right? They don't change your payout. Based on you selecting any 3-pick entry you create, you're getting a 6x payout, right? So it doesn't matter what picks you go with, you're always getting a 6x payout. So a 6x payout means you're betting 10 to win 60. So that's plus 500 odds, right? So if you go to a parlay calculator, so where's a parlay calculator, right? What is plus 500 odds, or what is a 6x payout where you're betting 10 to win 60? It would be where every bet is minus 122 odds. So Underdog Fantasy is essentially giving you minus 122 juice. So we're getting Diggs. I mean, long story short, there's incredible value on Diggs not to score a touchdown. So, PrizePicks looks a little too low here. But again, you only have a few data points, which kind of sucks, but still seems like a decent play. It's a big discrepancy. It's crazy how inefficient the sports betting market is, right? Like, you would never see a stock at $35 on E-Trade and $37.50 on Fidelity. It's crazy. So, anyways. Yeah, we're going through PrizePicks, Darius. Genuine question. Do y'all hear? Yeah, DFS apps. I mean, Florida will probably be fine. Nobody seems worried about it, but hopefully these DFS apps stick around. I think they will, but we'll see. So where can we go next? So you can see, there's some kicking point discrepancies, but I typically, again, like there's only 2 data points here. It's Underdog and PrizePicks. They're the only 2 books that have kicking points lines up. I don't really know which one is, sharper or stuff like that. So, I'm always trying to fine-tune my plays to find the best plays or find some correlation. Not that I always do the best job at it, but that's, what I'm trying to do here. So, like, same thing here. Alex Pierce, we can take his under on FanDuel as well. Or, sorry, why am I saying FanDuel? On PrizePicks, right? So, again, some of you may have to skip over the college football props if we find any college football props. But we can go to college football. You can see there's rush TDs. God, they have a lot of lines up. I can almost guarantee you some of these lines are pretty good. So we could look through them all night, but I'm sure that wouldn't be excite everyone too much. So we can go to this player, Oscar. Right, so this play seems even better on PrizePicks than the one before. Right, if you look at this guy's line, here you have a lot more data points. Right, so like, okay, like, PrizePicks has his line at 34, right? Hot Streak has his line. So Hot Streak is a sports book, so they have juice in their market. You can see they have his line at 36.5, so 2.5 kills higher. And they have the over as the juiced or the favorite outcome, right? They have the over as the more likely outcome, right? So like that play seems really good, right? Every other book, you have 3 other fantasy sites, ParlayPlay, Underdog, JockMKT, all saying, yo, this guy's line should definitely be higher. And then you have Hot Streak, who is a sports book. They have his line at 36.5 with the over as the favorite outcome. Again, it kind of sucks because FanDuel doesn't have like eSports lines, but you know, just kind of how it is. So we can check out this player, Simkey. And once again, right, like PrizePicks has this guy's line at 35. All the other books, 37, 37.5. Hot Streak has his line at 37.5 with the over as the heavily favored outcome. So we can remove this first pick because it's not that it's a bad play. There were just less data points, right? Less data points, you know, whatever, you know. So we can go back here, and there's some headshot lines. So for headshot lines, still have to add in ParlayPlay. But if we take a look here at Djoko, so what we can do here is Djoko's line, yo, come on, is 24, right, on ParlayPlay and Underdog. Where does PrizePicks have this guy's line? So there's some good early esports value, right? They have his line at 24. Right? PrizePicks has the line at 22. So again, not as many data points as the previous one, where here there's like a, you know, you should have really high confidence in the bet, right? It's kind of like when you're getting married, you probably want to be confident in your decision. It's kind of the same thing when you're putting your money down, right? The more books that are saying, yo, this bet's really good, the better. So here it's like we have ParlayPlay, Underdog, JockMKT are all like, yo, PrizePicks has their line too low. That's 3 data points. 3 sports books with sophisticated models that are moving around lines due to where action's coming in to the market, all telling us PrizePicks' line is too low. Hot Streak has the line at 37.5 with the over as the favorite outcome. So that seems like a damn good play to go with, right? Oh, baby. Jaden Daniels, this play I do like as well, so we can check out B-Stick as well. So, B-Stick. So again, like for this player B-Stick, it's like, okay, like PrizePicks has his line at 15. Underdog and ParlayPlay have his line higher. But again, you just don't have a ton of sports books who post those lines. Like you don't have a ton of sports books that post these lines. So LSU game though, this play is beautiful. So let's go back here and let's go to, you know, college football passing yards. And we can take a look. Daniels' line, right? This plays on ParlayPlay as well. PrizePicks, 275 half. Underdog, 270 half. Lower ParlayPlay. Seems like they seem to copy PrizePicks sometimes. They both have them at 275 half. So we'd want to hit the under here. And then we can also add in this play on Pierce. Right? So that was an NFL play. So now we have 2 plays on ParlayPlay because I'm going to double down a bit because PrizePicks, after I won my beautiful, you know, 5K slip and just had a great weekend, they ended up hitting me with pretty shitty betting limits. You'll notice if I try to bet $50, they tell me, oh, fuck, now they let me bet 50. Maybe they increased my limits again. They limited me before. Well, let's see. How much will they let me bet? So if I try to bet 50, maximum entry is $250. So maybe they increased my limits a bit. It was lower before. And I was not happy about that, if you remember, especially after a good weekend. So damn, I feel really good now. I feel very good. Alex, have you ever looked at betting? Yeah, so correlation's great. I've looked into it a bit. Anyways, let's get some more picks in. So correlation's great. It's harder to quantify. So I spend some time thinking about it. And I definitely think it's a benefit, right? Like if we're going to take Alex Pierce's under, if we could take, the Colts quarterback to go under as well, that would be great. That would be positively correlated. But let's refresh this. And again, if you're just tuning in, we hit this bad boy. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy, I thought he ended up with 6 strikeouts. So Yankees game. Damn. I thought that play ended up winning because he got blown out. He put up 8 strikeouts and gave up 5 earned runs. So stupid. Anyways, Glasnow play, this cashed from earlier. We had it on a bunch of platforms. I recommended it on a bunch of platforms too because I couldn't bet much on PrizePicks. And then here's the play, we locked in on Underdog Fantasy just a few minutes ago. I'm not sure what plays are still available. But anyways, what we can do is we can continue looking, for some picks on PrizePicks. So we have 3 really, really good ones, but it's like, okay, like we want 2 more. So this play on Jaden Daniels seems really good, right? Where are you, baby? So again, I know not everyone can bet, college football, but I'm sure you saw there are some other plays that are available. Again, like if you want to, like a lot of people, they don't want to have a bunch of risk on, but they still want to make money sports betting. Take them over 260.5 on FanDuel, under 275.5 on PrizePicks. It's like buying a stock at 260.5 on E-Trade and selling it at 275.5 on another sportsbook. It's an absolute no-brainer. So where do we want to go next? God, there are a lot of bets on PrizePicks right now. I'm a little scared to bet too much because I don't want them to know my limits went up, but this play is beautiful as well, right? Like, again, like if you think you're smarter than the sports books, I really challenge you to think about why, right? Like everyone thinks they're special. Everyone thinks they can see the future. Every sports bettor, 99% of sports bettors, everyone watches sports, and guess what? They all lose money, right? So most sports bettors lose money. They all watch sports. They all think they can just outsmart the market. Same thing, so like it's really just the people with data who end up winning long term. So here, pretty interesting. You can see when Chubb got injured, right? Like, the Browns went from minus 215 to minus 148 favorites. So they've always been favored, but they went from really big favorites, minus 215 to minus 148. Now lines are moving back towards the Browns a bit. But anyways, I don't know why I mentioned that. That's probably the most random thing I've mentioned today. The market is always processing new information, right? Like so my assumption is, right, this is probably what happened, is the sports books, Chubb got injured, everyone started to hammer the Titans money line. The market overreacted because everyone thinks, oh, I bet the sports books don't know that Chubb got injured. And like the initial value was gone, right? The initial jump had already occurred, but people still bet the Titans, and now it's kind of like come back into place. But anyways, this play's beautiful, right? 28.5, hot streak line at 30.5 with the over as the favorite outcome. And there are a lot of bets. I love fading Jimmy G. Oh, man, there are just so many bets. I really hope PrizePicks lets me keep my higher limits. So we can go here. We can go to Jimmy G, right? So, like, why do we like this play? It's like, okay, FanDuel is a lot lower. Let's go to passing props, right? They have him 229.5. We're getting under 238.5. But then it's like, okay, like what about other data points, right? So FanDuel's a $10 billion company. No offense, they have a better model than you. They have a better sense of what Jimmy G is going to do than you're ever going to be able to think of in your head. So what we can do here is we can go next to the Raiders game on Caesars, right? We want to look at as many data points as possible. All these books want to be unique. They all set lines independently. So if we take a look at Caesars, Jimmy G's line is at 237.5, but the under is super heavily favored, right? His under is, so not only are we getting a yard of value on PrizePicks, Caesars has him 237.5, but you got to consider the juice, right? They have the under super heavily favored. So it's like, okay, this play seems good. And we'll lock it in. Fucking Christ. Now it's $25. So I don't understand what the deal is. So for a 4-pick flex play, they'll let me bet $100. But if I put in a 5th pick, it doesn't even make sense. But for a so I mean, the hard part is, part of me. So I'm curious what happens. So if I bet 250, let's say on this, now it tells me the max is 150. I'm super confused. So if I bet 150, right? It tells me amount to win, maximum winnings are $1,000 right now. Anyways, I don't know. But long story short, I'm going to hit this under 238.5. It's just frustrating. So if you want a replacement for that Jaden Daniels pick, maybe that first pick we went through is good. Again, that's the hard part. The hard part isn't figuring out the strategy really to beat the sports books. It's just following the data, looking for an edge. The reason books don't have perfect lines is because they can do things like this, right? They can just limit you if you make money. Anyways, here's the play if you want to tail. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get my phone real quickly. Especially late at night, I'm getting out a good amount of slips. There's a lot of plays right now. Let me get my phone. So hopefully we can get some more slips. So again, Underdog Fantasy, here's what we have locked in. And then PrizePicks, we just locked in this bad boy. All the plays are good, just shitty betting limits on both platforms. This play I would have absolutely loved to have bet more money on, but, you know, that's just kind of how it goes. That's just kind of how it goes sometimes. So we can take a look here at PrizePicks. We can see if there's any more plays we want to go with. Or we can look at Underdog just because the betting limits are higher if people have a preference, or ParlayPlay. It's kind of up to, you know, kind of up to you. I don't really care, but we found some good lines on all these platforms. And I'm sure there's some more touchdown bets. So again, if you want to look for touchdown bets kind of on your own, because there are a lot of lines available, it's just like what you want to do, right? So like, you know, as a simple example, Will Shipley, right? What you can do is you can go to rushing touchdowns. And again, it's free to browse odds on OddsJam. So you can just go here to like football, college football. And what you can do is you can go to, you know, Will Shipley. So this is in the Clemson, Florida State game. So if we go here, 9 a.m., I will not be up for this game. But if we go to player rushing yards, and we look at Will Shipley, it's like, okay, or we want to look at rushing touchdowns. I apologize. Rushing touchdowns is what we can do is we can look at what's the deal with him. So you can see like Fliff. I mean, a bunch of books have him up his rushing touchdown line. He's a slight favorite to go under, but there's not a ton of juice, right? There's like basically the same juice towards the over and the under. That's not what you want to see. What you want to see is a book posting like Jordan Travis, right? Because here he's a huge underdog. And again, on PrizePicks, on these fixed payout platforms, they don't change your payout. based on you selecting over versus under. So that's exactly what you want to see. Big juice, right? Big favorites. But what we can also do is go to like rushing touchdowns. Maybe there's an easier way to do this. And we can just kind of like scan around manually. So this betting tool is called the Sportsbook screen. So if we take a look here, what the fuck? Okay, we want to go to rushing touchdowns. I apologize. We want to see the fantasy sites. So here you can see it's like, here's the 4 fantasy sites: PrizePicks, JockMKT, Underdog Fantasy. So like Will Shipley, you know, not really any value. You can kind of go through Donovan Edwards, meh. So here it's like Jordan Waters in the Duke game. You'd probably want to take him to go over. I mean, honestly, maybe a little bit of value on the over. You can see all the sports books have him pretty heavily favored to go over, right, to score a touchdown. Fliff has him as a minus 145 favorite to score. So this plays on ParlayPlay, right? So he's the Duke running back. Take him over. Take him to score a touchdown, right? And maybe if there's better plays, you know, we can kind of find better plays. And again, it's not the sexiest thing in the world, but, you know, what sucks is there's just not a ton of data points for these college football lines, so they won't show up automatically on the fantasy optimizer, at least right now. So we can take a look here. Damn, there are a lot of lines. So Jamal Haynes, you want to take him under. So another one. It's like all the sports books have him as like a minus 135 favorite to not score. Nope. I want Jamal Haynes, Georgia Tech. So we can go back here. Didn't they beat Clemson? Or am I crazy? But anyways, let's go back here. Jamal Haynes, heavily favored to go under. This plays also on PrizePicks. But again, ParlayPlay has a bit better payouts than PrizePicks. So I generally, like, if you're only going to, and PrizePicks has limited me at this point. So you could take it on PrizePicks. But again, ParlayPlay has just a little bit better payouts. So, God, there are just a shit ton of lines. So here we have the last game. So there we have rushing touchdown. So what we could end up doing is, you know, receiving touchdowns. You can kind of take a look here. So I'm just looking for like, okay, like where do these fantasy sites have a lineup? Where's Underdog? I don't know. Where do these fantasy sites have a lineup and the sports books have one side of the line extremely heavily favored? So you can see there's not a ton of receiving TD props on these platforms. At least none with value. You know, so like here it's like not much juice in either direction. So we can kind of like, you know, wow. There are a lot of receiving lines up though. Minus 120, minus 120. So there's equal juice towards the over and the under. Long story short, not a ton of value. So what we can do is we can go here. Who is minus 295 to receive for a touchdown? Rome Adunzi. This guy must be a fucking beast. He is minus 275 favorite to receive a touchdown, to catch a touchdown. That is insane. That is insane. Anyways, let's go to touchdowns. Player touchdowns. I think this can be the last one we can check. Nope, that's not what we want to do. Player passing plus rushing plus receiving touchdowns. Nope, that's not what we want to do. Anyways, I'm not even sure. Anytime touchdown score, is this what we want to look at? Whoa. So, you know, we have 4 good plays on ParlayPlay. Let's just go back to Underdog Fantasy. I'm spending a lot of time talking. There's a lot of good lines. But anyways, let's go back here. Let's filter out soccer quickly. And let's look for some plays. Marvin Harrison over 6. So what's the deal with this play? Right? We can look at college football receptions. So ParlayPlay, it's not as popular as, you know, PrizePicks Underdog, but they do have a lot of good lines. So, like, this one seems kind of split. The market's kind of split. Like, you know, Underdog has his line at 6, PrizePicks 6.5, Fliff 5.5, but the over super heavily favored. A lot of other sportsbooks 6.5. So this seems like a good one to middle, right? Maybe take his, you know, over 5.5 at -155 on Fanatics. Hit his under 6.5 on ParlayPlay at -114 or -106 on Casumo. But what we can do is we can take a look at, I can't wait to DoorDash here in a bit. Can't wait to DoorDash. So let's see if we can create a quick one. And I'll be back on live tomorrow morning, maybe even later tonight. We'll have to see how the night goes. But we'll take a look here. Is again, we already hit this play on Bo Collins, Underdog. Oh, your max betting limit is, ooh, baby. Oh my God. This play is, whew. Ooh, let's go. So here we have a beautiful middle bet between Underdog, what is going on in this game, and you could middle this with FanDuel. So if we go to the Lions game, right? Oh, baby. Let's go to the Lions game. Look at Gibbs's rushing attempts. Nope, that's not what I meant to go with. So we want to go to the Falcons game. So let's go back to the Falcons game. And what we can do is let's go to Gibbs. So let's go to rushing props. And we want to go to rushing attempts. Gibbs's line is 9.5. Underdog Fantasy 11.5. That's crazy. Not much juice on either side too, right? So we could hit the over 9.5. Buy the stock at 9.50. Sell it for 11.50, right? 9 to 11. 9.50 to 11.50. That's beautiful. Or it seems like books have the under, like, you know, DraftKings. Granted, DraftKings has the line at 11.5, but again, you got to consider the juice. Is DraftKings has really heavy juice towards him going under and rushing attempts. So we can also see, like, okay, like, has the line been moving? So if we go over to the Lions game, woo, feels good to be betting on the NFL and college football. So if we go to the Lions game, and again, it's free to browse odds on OddsJam. Check it out. Is if we want to go to rushing attempts and we want to check out Gibbs. What's the deal? What's going on here is you can see the lines have been, lines rip towards his under. I don't know. Is another, running back for the Lions active, or maybe something happened in this game? But long story short, like you can see, like, odds are ripping towards him not having as many rushing attempts. And I explained this before, like in other videos, but, a lot of these lines move. Lineup announcements, injuries, like all this stuff moves the market. Yeah. But anyways, let's find a couple more picks to go with. And then I got a dip. So, did we already take Mahomes over 34.5? This play I thought was good too. Other sportsbooks have him at 36.5. So anyways, what we can do is we can go here over 34.5. FanDuel has it at 36.5. All the other books have the over heavily favored. And what else did we like? Josh Allen over 32.5. Boo, 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 boo. Dota, we got Laurel over 14.5 on Underdog. Why doesn't PrizePicks have Dota lines up yet? So they do, right? Underdog has the line at 14.5. PrizePicks is at 15. You can see right here, Parlay plays at 16. So anyways, I'm going to lock this in. I got to bounce. And hopefully, whoa, what just happened there? And there's our bet. And I've already hit my limit on Patrick Mahomes. But anyways, I got a dip. I'm going to lock this bet in. And